Good morning. All right, so now let's talk about this scenario where we wanted that if you would delete an account record, so for that account, all the related contacts should remain and it should not be deleted. Now, see, if you remember one thing, we have studied this in the admin part while we were discussing about relationships. I have told you, like, when we go to, there are certain, there are certain special form of relationship, like between account and contact, then between account and like this is contact, and between account and case, and between account and opportunity. So we have studied like there are some additional behaviors, although the type of relationship is always lookup, the type of relationship which is there between account, contact, account and case, and account and opportunity, that's a lookup relationship. But still, if it's a lookup relationship, we have learned that Salesforce by default provide a certain additional behavior. So what was that? Can any one of you, yes, can any one of you tell me, like, what was the additional behavior of Salesforce, what we have studied with account and contact, account and case, and account and opportunity? Yes, can any one of you tell me?
Sir, roll-up summary can be created.
On which? All three of them?
I think account and opportunity.
Yes, so between account and opportunity, you can create a roll-up summary, although there was a lookup relationship. That's good. Yes, anything else?
Cascade deletion,
Cascade deletion, for which?
account and opportunity.
So between account and opportunity, there is a cascade deletion. And you can again create a roll-up summary. So we got these 2 points for account and opportunity. Yes, anything else? What about account and contact and account and case? What additional behavior Salesforce present for this? Yes, can anyone elaborate that? What was the additional behavior that you have observed between account and contact, account and case?
So if we try to delete a case, if it is related to contact, associate contact, then we can't delete.
It was slightly different. Let me talk about all these. Well, it's a good attempt. Everybody who has answered, that's a good attempt. See, between account and contact, let's first talk about the account and contact. Account and contact, although there is a lookup relationship, and in the lookup relationship, we have studied that cascade deletion is not there because that's a feature of master detail. So in master detail, this happens when you delete a parent record. So apparently for that parent, the child also get deleted. And this is something, by the way, is called as cascade deletion, which is a feature of master detail relationship. And it's not there in the lookup. Though it's not available in the lookup, and between account and contact, there is a lookup relationship, there's a standard lookup relationship. Still, Salesforce have that functionality. That means if you delete an account record, and if that account is having some of the related contacts to it, so that is also going to get deleted automatically. So this is something called as cascade deletion. There is a functionality of cascade deletion between account and contact, even between account and opportunity. So cascade deletion is there. Whenever you delete an account, contact, all the related contacts and all the related opportunities, both of them are going to get deleted automatically along with the parent record of account. And there's one more thing with account and opportunity. Somebody of you just have highlighted that. We can also create a roll-up summary, although roll-up summary is again a feature that can be created. only with a master detail relationship. Cannot be possible to create this with a lookup. But between account and opportunity, although there is a lookup relationship, Salesforce still allows you to create. Salesforce still allow you to create a roll-up summary. So there are two things which make this relationship bit special. About account and case, it was something like if an account is having some related cases to it, and if you try to delete this account record, which has some associated cases, Salesforce won't allow you. Salesforce won't permit you. Salesforce won't permit to have the deletion of those account records unless you remove all the cases. Unless you remove all the cases. All right. So this is what we have studied. So I will going to talk about between account and contact only because this example precisely focus on this functionality. So between account and contact, we know that there is a cascade deletion between account and contact. Now we have revised, so we know that there is a cascade deletion. Like if you delete an account, so all of the related contacts, they are also going to get deleted, and that's a default functionality of Salesforce. And we wanted to break this chain. We wanted that if I would delete an account, only the account should get deleted, but contact should still remain. The account should get deleted, contact should still remain. Contact shouldn't be deleted on the deletion of the parent record. So that means I am trying to change the default behavior of this. How to do that? So before we proceed with this, let me try to show you something, because this entire example is based on a one field on the account, on the contact. There's a field. This entire example is based on that field. Select contact. What I wanted to select, let's say ID. Let's say name. Let me take as an account ID as well. I can take account dot name. I'll show you with this example. And let me try to export the record. Now see, I fired a query on contact object. I'm trying to display you the contact records, of course, their ID and their name. 003, as you can see, stands for contact, whereas 001 in the ID, you can see 001 is for the account. So this is, I can say this is one of a contact record. This is one of the contact record, and this contact is related to this account. This is the ID. Even I have given you the name as well, right? With this account.name, I have given you the name as well. So you can see that these all are the contact records. These all are the contact records, and they're related accounts as well. They're related accounts as well. They are related accounts as well, right? So here, for example, if I would consider that this contact record, and you can see for this contact, there's, these two fields are blank. I can say that this contact is not related to any account. As you can see, the account ID field, I can modify a query for a little bit, where the account ID was to null. If I would fire this query, we would typically going to see all those contacts which are not related to any account, and so the account ID field is blank. Now see how this whole logic is going to work. Now try to understand this. What I'm going to do is, like, for example, let's consider for an instance, you have to assume that this was one of the contact record and it was related with certain accounts. So it was like 001 XYZ something, name was sample account. Let's consider that this contact record, was associated with an account. There's an account called a sample account. For an instance, let's assume that there is an account called sample account. And as a default behavior of Salesforce, what happens internally is like, if you would delete this account, this contact would also going to be get deleted, because that is what is the default functionality of Salesforce with this relationship. Although it's between account contact, there's a lookup, still there is a cascade deletion functionality. But we wanted to stop this. We wanted to break this chain of cascade deletion. And we want, like, if you are deleting this account, only that account record should be get deleted. That particular contact should still remain in the database. So how we are going to design this? Now understand what is my logic behind this. What I'm going to do, I would design a trigger on before delete. Before delete, if you are attempting to delete an account, of course it would be on account. Understand why? Because I'm talking about deleting an account, should not delete the delete contact. So that's why my trigger would be on before delete, obviously, but it would be on account because we are attempting to delete an account record. And I wanted to break this chain. Before deleting an account, I wanted to break this chain. So my trigger would be on account and event would be before delete. I hope this everything is making sense to all of you. See, if ever you don't understand and you wanted me to repeat, please go ahead. You can raise your hand. You can ping me on the chat board. Or else if you straightly wanted to unmute yourself, that is again, I don't have any issue with that. But please do not remain silent. Silence is something which is not going to help. If you remain silent throughout the discussion, still if you're not understanding, that is your fault. All right. I have given you the opportunity to understand everything, whatever I say. If you don't understand it in the first, I usually repeat it. But even if it does not work for you, it's very much perfect if you would ask me to repeat that again. Don't think anything about it. It is very important for you to understand this concept, because it would be ultimately you who are going to face this in the interview. I will be not there. I'm not going to sit along with you for your interview. You have to manage this by your own, guys. So please don't hesitate. Please don't hesitate in asking me anything. All right. Chalo. So I am designing this. I'm going to design this trigger on account. Or my event would be before delete. And what I'm going to do would be like, I would collect that ID. Or rather, in short, let me try to, I'll just try to explain you everything in the code. What I'm going to do would be like, now for example, one account with ID called 001XYZ. There's an account record called 001XYZ. This account record is getting deleted. All right. Let's try to understand this. This account record, whose ID is 001XYZ. Now this account record is getting deleted. I'm going to fire a query in such a way that I would collect all the related contacts to this account. And let's say this account 001XYZ is having 3 contacts, C1 and C2 and C3. Let's say that this account, which we are attempting to delete, 001XYZ, is having 3 contacts associated to it, C1, C2, and C3. See, in an ideal circumstances, what is going to be happen by default, if you delete this account, all 3 contacts, they are going to be get deleted automatically, which particularly we wanted to stop this behavior. We don't want it that these all 3 contacts should be get deleted along with this account. So what I'm going to do, first try to understand the logic, because that's really important. Once you understand the logic, it becomes easy to code it. So what I'm going to do, because see these 3 contacts, C1, C2, and C3, all 3 of them, there's a field inside contact, there is a field called as account ID. There's a field called as an account ID. All 3 of them in the account ID field, in the account ID field, of all three of them, in the account ID field of all three of them, the ID of this record is there, right? 001 XYZ, 001 XYZ, 001 XYZ. So this indicates that this contact is related to this account, this contact is related to this account, and this contact is related to this. That you have seen. I just have shown you that in the query, right? I just have shown you that in the query. I just have shown you that in the. So this account, this contact is related with this account. Why? Because there is an account ID field. This contact is related with this account. This contact is related with this account. So what I'm going to do in this case, how this logic is going to work. So there is an account called 001 XYZ. There were three contacts associated to them. All three contacts, C1, C2, and C3. In the account ID field of all three contacts, there is an ID called 001 XYZ, 001 XYZ, 001 XYZ. I'm going to delete this. Only I'm going to make this account ID blank. I'm going to make this account ID blank. So when I remove this account ID field, when I make this blank, when I make the value of account ID equals to null for all three of them, C1, C2, C3. There were three contacts, C1, C2, and C3. They were related with account X, account XYZ, 1, 2, 3, whatever, right? And the account ID field was having the ID of that account record. Account ID field was having the ID of that account record. So before deleting this account, I first of all design a query. I'll fire a query to fetch all related contacts for this account. There may be a single, there may be multiple, or there may not be an account. There may not be a contact. So I'm going to fetch all of the related contacts to this account before deleting this account. I'm going to fetch all the contacts, and what I'm going to do with them? I would make this as null. Account ID field, which was previously having the ID of that account, I'll make it null. So when we make this account ID as null, now this is as good as there is no relationship of this contact with the said account. So there is no relationship. You actually have breaked the relationship before deleting. Now, if you would delete this account, only that account would get deleted. Contact still remains. So this is like how we are going to attempt for this, right? This is how we are going to attempt for this. Before deletion of the account, before deleting the account, we're going to break the relationship of account with that contact, right? This is my logic. For which we are going to code, right? Let's go to developer console. And we already have a trigger on account. Let me see whether I can accommodate this logic over there or not. Otherwise, I'm going to design a new trigger. So this I have before delete logic as well over here. Let me first of all try to accommodate this logic over here itself. If it does not work, I'm going to create a separate trigger. Because see, it's a best practice, and you are going to learn this in a very few days. Like there are certain best practices whenever you write a trigger. So one of them is you should always try to have only a single trigger per trigger, a single trigger per object. You should always try to have a single trigger per object. So if you have created a trigger on a certain object, you should try to accommodate your new business logic inside in that only. Otherwise, if it makes it little complicated and it becomes unable, it becomes difficult for you to track the processing, then obviously you can create another one. This is just a best practice. You should try for that. Otherwise, you can definitely have more than one triggers. There is no such rule that you cannot create it. It's just a suggestion from Salesforce. So I'm just trying to to build up my logic over here itself, because I see this trigger is an account and it is also working for before delete. So this block, although it works for insert and update, will not going to do anything over here. But this block particularly is getting called when you try to delete something, and it would called before delete, right? Before delete. So we already have a logic where we are trying to see if the account isn't active, you cannot delete that account. That's already a logic over here. I'm going to code. I'm going to try. I'll try to accommodate the new logic below to this, and we'll see whether we can track the processing or not. Okay, so I'm going to do is like trigger is before and is delete. So I would try to first of all collect all those. I'll try to first of all collect all those related contacts, isn't it? For example, if you are deleting an account called ACC1. So for this account, how many contacts are there? I wanted to collect that. Just now I have told you that we are deleting an account called 001 XYZ. And I wanted to first of all collect that for this account, how many contacts are there? Like, let's say there are 2 contacts, 3 contacts, whatever. So I'm concentrating on this. So I wanted to collect all those contact records that are associated with this account. So accordingly, I'll design my query. Select ID would be enough to, because I'm more interested in ID only, an account ID. So if you just for the debug purpose, we could have the name. Otherwise, fetching the name is not essential in this case. Just for the debug purpose, we could call it. Otherwise, it's not required. But what is required is ID, and the second is account ID. So I wanted to get the ID, first name, last name, let's say, an account ID as well. And this everything I wanted from contact. So everything I wanted for, but I just don't wanted everything. Now here I would impose my condition where the account ID, in the account ID. Let me just first design the query. I'm going to talk on this. Trigger dot old map dot key set. Trigger dot old map dot key set. And because it is going to return you, we are assuming that there are multiple contacts, and this is not an assumption, this is a fact, that account could have multiple contacts. So in C, for this example, we can say that if this query is going to return me 3 contacts, more than 1. So whenever a query returns you more than 1 result, you always have to collect it inside a list collection, because it is returning you the contact. So obviously, very obviously, I'm going to collect this inside list of contact. List of contact, let me give any name. So for example, LST contacts equals to like this. All right. Now let me talk about this query which I have created. See, I'm asking for these fields, and I'm asking it from the object called contact. Now I am specifically wanted only those contacts which are related to this particular account ID. Now see what is going to happen. Understand, this is the most important part of this whole program. This whole logic depends on this query only, right? So this is very important to understand how I have designed this query. See, you are attempting to delete an account, isn't it? You are attempting to delete an account. This is that account which you are attempting to delete. The user is trying to delete this account. So whenever you try to delete something, that goes to trigger.old memory, isn't it? Trigger.old. Remember? And simultaneously, it also goes to trigger.old map. Trigger.old is a list collection. Trigger.old map is a map collection. Let me talk about only map collection at this moment. So I will say that whenever you attempt to delete this, as a default functionality, this record goes to trigger.old map. There is a memory, there's a map collection, internal map collection of trigger itself. This goes to trigger.old map. Let's try to break this in a small doses so that it becomes easy to digest for every one of us. User is attempting to delete this account record. If you are attempting to delete an account, if you are attempting to update an account, both of the cases. If you are attempting to delete an account, listen. And if you are attempting to either update an account, in both of the cases, that record or all those records. हो सकता है ना एक से ज़्यादा, we always have to think trigger as a bulkified trigger. That is again a best practice. All those records which either you are attempting to update or you are attempting to delete, that goes to trigger.old and trigger.old map. Likewise, if you are trying to insert a new record or you are updating a record, that goes to trigger.new and we have this. All right. Let's consider this goes to trigger.old map. You have to consider this actually goes to. So in a map collection, we learned that map is a key value pair type of thing. So if I'm saying that, let's consider only one record. This is one of that record, which is going to be get deleted. And I'm saying that this record goes to trigger.old map. Automatically, internally, that goes to trigger.old map. So how this is going to be structured over here? How this is going to be structured? This ID. This ID of the record goes to this place, 0, 0, 1, X, Y, Z, whatever was the ID that goes to key area. And value will contain everything. What was the name of record? What was the rating? The value of industry, annual revenue, ownership, everything, whole record. I'll say the complete record. Complete record would be at the place called value, whereas the ID would add to the place of key. This is how map collection internally looks like to be. And this we have discussed. There was a topic collection. List and set could be little more similar. Map is entirely different out of it and out of context. Map entirely is a different sort of collection, right? Okay, so map collection is always seen like this type of capsule where it have two partitions. It have two partition, keys and values. Keys are always unique, by the way, if you remember. Value could be unique, could be different. Keys are always unique. So if I'm attempting to delete this record, there's an account record. There could be multiple records as well. So we are attempting to delete this record. That record goes to trigger.old map. I'm talking about old map only over here. So when it goes to old map, how it has been arranged? The ID of this record goes to key area and the complete record goes to value. All right, so this is like it has been arranged. Now you fired a query. You fired a query on contact where you are collecting ID, name, account ID. You're collecting all these fields from the account, from the contact. But then what you are seeing to, you are not looking for everything. Rather, you are just collecting only those contacts. You're just collecting. Listen this very carefully. This is the most important part of today's discussion is right now. You are just collecting those contacts where the account ID matches to trigger.oldmap.keyset. Trigger.oldmap. I'm targeting this one. When I say trigger.oldmap, I'm targeting this one. That to be keyset, the keyset function. Keyset function always returns the key. Keyset function always returns the key. Keyset function always returns the key ID, and value function always returns the value. If you have forgotten this, go back and revise. How many different functions we have learned for the map collection? So there is a function called keyset. Keyset would always return the ID. So you know what? I can decode this finally that, okay, what is this keyset was going to return? Keyset is going to return the what is over here. What is over here? 0, 0, 1, X, Y, Z. That is my example. So this trigger.oldmap, I'm targeting trigger.oldmap. And I wanted what I wanted from here? I wanted just keyset. Keyset function would only return me the ID, the key. What is there inside in the key area? 0, 0, 1, X, Y, Z. So it would return you that. So what we are collecting, we are just looking into those contacts where account ID in or account ID is 001XYZ. And there were 3 contacts. C1 was having 001XYZ. C2 was also having 001XYZ. C3 was also having 001XYZ. And that's why out of all contact records, let's say there were millions of the contact, only 3 have been collected. This query would return with these 3 contacts. Why only these 3? Because they are having ID called 001XYZ, 001XYZ, and 001XYZ. So this is what this query returns. And this was the most important part. Now what you can say, all those contacts, after executing this query, all those contacts which were associated to that account, which is going to be get deleted. Now all those contacts, we have collected them inside a collection. We have collected them inside a collection called LST contact. And let's, for an instance, let's say there are 3 of them. There are 3 contacts, C1, C2, and C3. All 3 of them are now inside LST contacts. And what to be done with all them? मार दिया जाए कि छोड़ दिया जाए? बोल तेरे साथ क्या सलूक किया? So we know what you have to do. We just have to make account ID null. हमें account ID को null कर देना. इन तीनों contacts जो यहाँ पे मौजूद हैं, इसमें, all 3 of them. क्या करना है हमको? C1 और C2 और C3 के साथ क्या करना है भाई? उनकी account ID field को, जिसमें अभी XYZ 1 2 3 जो भी है, उसको null कर देना है. This is the only thing what we have to do, right? So once you collected all of them and you have stored it inside a collection, let me copy the name of that collection. What I am going to do, अभी तो इसके बाद का logic I guess आपको पता है, ठीक है? So I'm just going to make them net. But उसके पहले, as in best practice, we always do that whenever we work on any collection, whenever we work on any collection, we always check for null pointer exception. And so I'm going to check whether this collection, LST contact, is not empty. Is not empty. If it's not empty, that means, yes, for this account, there were some related contacts. अगर एक ऐसा अकाउंट आप डिलीट कर रहे हो जिसमें कोई भी कॉन्टैक्ट एसोसिएटेड नहीं है, तो आपको ये क्वेरी कुछ भी रिटर्न नहीं करेगा. इसका मतलब इसकी जो वैल्यू है वो क्या है? नल है. इसमें कोई ऐसा कॉन्टैक्ट नहीं है. और फिर अगर आप उसको डिलीट करोगे तो ऑब्वियसली इट कैन ब्रिंग अप नल पॉइंटर एक्सेप्शन, दैट थिंग. हम वो नहीं चाहते हैं ना. तो व्हाट वी आर गोइंग टू डू, विल चेक फॉर दिस एंड वी ऑलवेज डू फॉर दिस. ये तो बेस्ट प्रैक्टिस है जो आप जानते हो और काफी पहले से हम फॉलो करते चले आ रहे हैं. Now, so if this contact, LST contact, if this collection is not empty, I would iterate every contact record from this. I would iterate every contact record one by one. I would iterate every contact CON, and I have taken it inside a local variable called CON. And what I'm going to do, CON, simple, CON dot. Come on, CON dot. अरे नहीं आ रहा, चलो कोई बात नहीं. Account ID, I'll make it as null. That's it. हो गया. ठीक है. And once that everything has been done, at the end, we would revert that. We would revert those changes to database. So update LST contacts. So prior to fetching the contacts, we are having account ID. There were account ID. Now one by one, you fetch them and you make the account ID field as null. And once you did this for all 3 of them, all 4 of them, all of them, you would update it back to the. Guys, 1 second. Yes. So once this changes has been done, we would update all those contacts back to database, right? So what is going to be happen if suppose all 3 of them were having the account ID field as, all 3 of them would have account ID field as 001XYZ. After this update, all 3 of them would have account ID as null, right? This is those. So that relationship is going to be get break. Now let me save this code. I would be saving this code, and let's see if you've got any error or this would happily saved. That's great. Now let's go and test it. So I'm going with, what's the name? My first Lightning application. I'll go to the account first of all. I'll go to the account, and we have an account called Chetna record. Just go with details. And see, I was into related tab. I am on now onto the details. And see, if you wanted, like, let me before, okay, for पहले let's stuck to the logic. एक चीज और बताऊंगा फिर मैं आपको इसके ऊपर में. The first thing would be like, we already have a trigger where you cannot delete an active account, right? So यहाँ पे जैसे, if you can see it's an active, and if you try to delete this, if you try to delete, click over here, and if you try to delete, सबसे पहले तो मेरा वही trigger fire हो जाएगा, and it would stop me. It would, an active account record cannot be deleted, right? So I obviously, if I'm trying with this one, I'll have to make it no. That is the first thing. And what I'm going to do is then I'm also going to check whether this have any related contact. So there is right now there is no contact. I'll just quickly create one contact for this. So first name would be test sample record number 1. And we just wanted to see for this, and this is account. Let me try to save it quickly. So now, as you can see, we have a related contact as well. So I'm just trying to open this into another tab. So this is that contact. Go to the details section, and you can see that this contact is related with an account called as Chetna record for now, right? For now. So we know that this is the account record. There's an account record called as Chetna record for approval. And this account right now, as you can see, is having a related contact. There's a related contact with this. Now I would attempt to delete this. All right, I am attempting to delete this. And what we are expecting, I mean, see, by default, what happens is like, you delete this account, this contact is going to get deleted automatically, right? So this shouldn't be happen. So I would try to delete it. So I have deleted this account. Let's go to the contact and let me try to refresh. And the change what I'm expecting is over here. This field should be get. First of all, the record should be there. Ye record delete nahi hona chahiye. And second, ye blank ho jana chahiye. It should contain null, right? So let me try to refresh this. So you go to the details section, you see there is a contact still is there, and account ID fields become blank. So it has no relationship with that account now. That account is deleted, contact still is there. Contact still is there. Understood? That is what this code reflects. All right. Now there is an assignment for you. Go and solve this assignment. Tomorrow I'll start with a roll-up summary trigger. This is again a form of trigger. I mean, this is again a form of business logic that can only be implemented with the triggers. Roll-up summary. Right? We're going to talk more on this by tomorrow. That's all for today. Yes. Any questions? Anybody wanted to ask any? Please go ahead. Any questions? All right. Thank you so much for joining. Have a nice day.